I've come here with an African proverb that says this: if you want to go far, walk alone. But if you want to go further, walk more with others. In Africa, we usually walk long distance. And as you're walking long distance, sometimes you pass through forests, sometimes you have valleys. But take a scenario whereby you're walking through these valleys and forests alone. Can you imagine the challenges? We've got rivers to cross. We've got forests to go through. We've got mountains to climb. There are storms. And sometimes you've got wild animals. And therefore, you need somebody to walk together with you, that any eventuality on the way, it can be solved. And that's why we come up with this, that at the end of the day, we need to work together. The issue is this: when I was back in my country, in Kenya, I came to realize that we're having workshops, seminars, conferences for our principals. But at the end of the day, the impact is not felt, because the implementation is not there. I've been working through this, trying to manage it, I couldn't. But whoa, I went to Israel. And in Israel, I met very good friends from 3 countries. I met Millicent from Ghana. I met Tomorrow. I met Minyak from India. Tomorrow comes from Botswana. Together, we had the same problem. We realized we are supervisors. And all of us were facing the same problem. We sat down and brainstormed. And that's when the idea came in. That instead of I myself building the problem alone, I can involve other supervisors and sit down, brainstorm using our various needs. And therefore we're able to manage and come up with something that's different, we can be able to apply to the principle. But what about if principles came together? You know this thing called NEPAD peer review? Have you heard of that?
Yes.
We borrowed the same idea, where the heads of states go and review the performance of the other heads of state and make a report. And that's what it comes like, even us as principals, the same thing can be done. If our leaders can, what about us back at the school level? We borrow from one another. And that is when we came up with this concept. In this concept, we are going to build professional partnerships. They're principals. They're going to share ideas among themselves. They're going to share resources and overcome challenges together as they learn from one another. In my country, I could not do it. I had to meet with other colleagues from other countries, share the same problem, and at the end of the day, I would come and say, this is the magic that can be done back at home. And that is the skill for tomorrow. And luckily enough, in our group, we have somebody called Tomorrow. So we borrow like tomorrow, yes, this is what we're going to implement tomorrow. That's where my dear colleagues we are. We are trying our best. We're going to build a community of principles. These principles are going to sit together, plan their activities. 3 of them. We decided on 3 because 4 becomes a crowd. And 3 they can manage, even to visit one another. The principals will visit other institutions. They will come up with competency areas, each one of them. Where I'm strong, I share my colleague. And using those competency areas, we'll be able to review them and borrow them. The principal at the same time will be having meetings for brainstorming. If there are any other issue, they first come up with facilitation. Share challenges. Sometimes it's lonely being up there. You need a shoulder to lean on. And it's only your peer who can understand you, going through the same challenges and be able to come up with the mitigating measures of the same. And that's where we are. It's going to be a 1-year cycle. Every 3 months, we come up with the different competency areas that we're able to look at and be able to challenge ourselves and be able to move to the next level. At the end of the year, we'll do almost postmortem. Among ourselves, as principals, do a postmortem and find out where the challenges are and can improve on the same. My dear colleagues, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And that's where we are. I'm calling upon us that this concept we can begin at a pilot stage together with one step, and believe you me, it can be the concept for tomorrow to solve our problems back in our stations for the principals not implementing problems. Let's together begin this journey. And I believe we'll be able to achieve our objective. In conclusion, my dear colleagues, Einstein said this: it's insanity doing the same thing and getting the same results all over again. And that's what we've been doing. We've been doing the same things, workshop, seminars. Now it's a time for paradigm shift. We can go for community of principles. Pick it up and run with it. And it's a challenge to us calling upon us. Let us pick it up. Let us run with it. Thank you. God bless.